Hey everyone, so welcome back to my channel. So today I'm doing a video on how to sculpt from start to finish. So today I'm working with my lovely client Marissa, and I'm starting off by prepping her nails. So I'm just removing any excess cuticle. This part is optional. I actually do see a lot of techs that don't do it. So again, it's not something that it's needed to do. Do it if you want to. Also, you have to be careful because if your client is diabetic or anything along those lines, you might not want to go ahead and clip, but then just be safe when you're going to do that. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that to both hands. So now I'm going to go ahead and move on to filing. So I'm going to go ahead and link all of the items that I've used in the description box. So what I'm doing here is I'm filing off the top layer of my client's nails. I'm using a 180 sanding band, and again, you want to make sure you're using the finest one that you have, because if you don't, you will damage your client's nails, and you don't want that to happen. So after this, all I'm going to do is spray some alcohol on my client's hand to finish getting the excess dust off, and then prep and prime and get ready to begin. So right here, I'm going to begin by applying my primer, which is actually a protein bond, onto my client's nails. So when you're doing this, whether you're using this same exact product or you're using a primer and a dehydrator, you do want to make sure that you're being very careful and only getting it onto your client's nails. So if you end up cutting your client and this was to get on their skin, it's going to really burn them and hurt them, as well as some people do have really sensitive skin. So again, you want to refrain from getting this onto your client's skin. So when it comes to forms, I like using any forms that kind of go all the way to like XXL. So today was my first time using this brand and their Venus. I actually do really like them. I used to use Mia Secret, so I would also recommend that, but again, I do recommend these, so I'm gonna start using these now. So as you can see, you want to go ahead and start from the bottom. You want to pinch it where there's still an opening. So a lot of people kind of get confused because they want to pinch the whole thing. No, you want to make sure there's still kind of a circle, because again, depending on how wide your client's nail is the way it's gonna go. So after I pinch that, I like to tear the top part off, and again, you don't have to, it is optional, but again, it fits the client's nail better. Alright, and then to complete this, I use my Young Nails monomer, and again, it's really amazing, so I do suggest using that. And again, for something else affordable, I suggest Mia Secret. Alright, so when I'm going to... So in this set, today I completed an ombre set, which is sometimes a little bit tricky. So all I was doing here was creating a base first. So by creating a base, I put a little bit of the pink onto the nail bed, but again, I don't want to fill up the whole thing just because I was going to start to blend the powder. So you see, I placed the bead on, and now I'm working efficiently, but again, not too fast but not too slow. And what I'm doing is patting motions. You see, what I'm doing is I'm wiping my brush off on the towel, then dipping it back in the monomer, and then wiping it off again. I'm making sure my brush is always hydrated, because if I work with a dry brush, it's going to be more difficult. So another thing you want to keep in mind when sculpting, you're either going to like it or you're going to hate it. I prefer it better because it does save time. So while you're sculpting, you want to keep in mind that you're trying to shape it. So whatever the shape you're trying to do, so whether it's coffin, square, think of the shape in your head and visualize it, and then, you know, obviously kind of just, I don't really know how to say it, so just pretty much extend the shape. So again, Marissa, she wanted to go with the coffin shape, so you see, all I'm doing is I'm tapering the sides in nice and slow. Again, I'm working fast. So in a little bit, you're going to see me switch. I decided that it would be a little bit easier to switch to creating bases instead of actually doing the whole nail. Since her nails were super long, it was a little bit easier for me. So again, once we get there, I'll go ahead and start explaining to you. Alright, so right here is when I started to create my clear bases. So basically, to create a clear base, all you're going to need to do is literally get some clear, and what you want to do is make it thin. So you don't want to have it too thin where you literally, if you like turn the paper, that you're not going to be able to see it. But again, you also don't want it super thick where you can also see some thickness. So one of the main key points is to make sure that your nail is thin enough. That way when you're apply the new color on top, that it's not going to be super bulky and thick, but also thick enough that when you go ahead to remove the paper from underneath, that it's not going to go ahead and break, if that makes sense. Again, super sorry if I'm very jumbly right now. now that I have all my clear bases made, I'm going ahead and going in with my Glam and Glitz pink, and then with Valentino as my cover color. So to create an ombre, all I'm doing is working in small sections, and now that I made the base, it's as if I have a tip. So again, I think this is way easier than just sculpting the whole thing as an ombre. So I'm going to go ahead and let you guys just watch this part. Again, you guys can fast forward if you need to. I'll begin talking again once I get to filing and shaping. several ways that you can do it. You can either do it all hand file, and again, if you're going to do that, you want to make sure you're very careful around the cuticle, or you can use a faster method, which is going to be an e-file. So when I go around the cuticle, I'm going to go nice and slow and use one direction to get the job done. And I like to use a fine drill bit, that way it's going to be less prone to cutting my client. Again, if I obviously go too fast or something like that, it's going to cut them, but it's way better than using a coarse. You never want to use a coarse cuticle bit around your client's cuticle. As soon as I'm done using my e-file, go straight into using my hand file. So when you're using your hand file, again, depending on what shape you're doing, you always want to make sure that you're in control of the file. So by that, I mean that you're having pressure. What I like to do is apply pressure to my client's finger. That way, one, I'm going to eliminate them feeling any like tugging or pulling, and then two, that way it gives me a good grip of my file. So when I'm filing, for instance, with this coffin shape, I'm going to first start with the free edge. And if you don't know what that is, that's just the pink part first. And I'm going to hold my file horizontally. That way I feel like I have better control than doing it horizontally. I mean vertically, if I said horizontally. And then once I do that, I'm going to start with the side walls. Or once I do that, I'm going to finish with the side walls. Again, making sure I'm holding the file parallel to myself. So basically straight across from myself. That way I'm making sure that everything's going to be nice and straight. I don't want any curves at all. Okay guys, so to go ahead and finish this video, I'm just going to end it with some clips of me designing the after product. So thank you guys so much for watching this. I hope you guys enjoyed, and again, thank you for bearing with me. This is my second actual voiceover, and again, I'm only going to get better at this. So again, thank you for being patient and sticking with me. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed this. Also, please leave any comments, helpful comments, or anything that you guys like, and then I'll get back to you, and also leave some comments about some content I should upload.